Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to begin walking through paper 2. So it's geography paper 2, and of course this is the paper that was written this year, this last month. Okay, so we will of course do trying to ensure that we just do one video um, going through all the sections, so section A and section B. Okay, so let's not waste any time, guys, and just get onto it. So we have section A, which consists of both settlement geography and economic geography as well. So we begin with question 1, and hopefully we'll be able to um, do this on time and ensure that we cover everything in this video in one video. Okay, so let's begin then. So this is question 1, and of course it's a match. Okay, so we're matching the concept from column A, matching it that with the corresponding letter that is on column B. Okay, so here I have wait, let me get back there. Yes. So here we have 1.1.1, which says the function of a rural settlement. Okay. Now, guys, remember that a function basically refers to the type of activities, the number of activities, economic activities that a settlement performs or um, operates in. Okay, so in this case, of course, multifunctional would mean that it practices primary activities, secondary activities, tertiary activities, quaternary activities. Okay, so that is multifunctional. That means that you are actually performing or have a lot of functions, more than one function. So it's not only farming. You might also have industries, industrial regions that are processing. You might also have um, facilities that provide services, which is your tertiary activities, and you might also have universities or consultancy companies. So of course it's a rural settlement. So we only see one dominant function there, okay, and that function, of course, is the primary activities. Okay, so we only see primary activities. You only see farming. You only see forestry, fishing. Okay, so these are rural areas. Okay, so that's like the most dominant um, activities, economic activities. Okay, so in this case, that means it's one, and so that means it is unifunctional. Unifunctional means one. Okay, so it's one function, which is the primary activity. So that is unifunctional. So for 1.1.1, we are going with Z, unifunctional. Okay, so that's that Z. Okay, and then for 1.1.2, um, let me quickly just uh, decrease the volume here. Okay, and then for 1.1.2, they want the site. Okay, so the site of a settlement. So we're supposed to choose an option that, of course, defines the site of a settlement. Okay, now, guys, we said that there's a difference between a site and a settlement. Okay, a site is the actual location. Okay, this is where I stay here in this particular area. Maybe it could be Soweto, it could be Joslov, or okay, I live in this particular area. Okay, and this is the exact area. This is what we call a site. It's the exact location. Okay, whereas a situation is uh, a location, but in relation to the surroundings. Okay, in relation to its surroundings. Maybe um, I would say so. I would say that my situation is I live close or just right next to the N2 road. Okay, so as you can see, I'm being relative to my surroundings. Okay, I'm close to the N2. Okay, maybe okay, I'm far away. I don't know, from Kader. Okay, or right next to a forest. Okay, so it's always a relative. What is close to you? Okay, what can you access? Always have to be in relation to the surroundings. Now that is what we call situation. Okay, so it's always a relative situation. Okay, whereas site is the exact location. So looking at this, we have two options, of course, and Y says the exact land occupied by a settlement. Okay, the exact land occupied by a settlement. So, of course, I will be going with that one. Okay, whereas Z says the location of a settlement in relation. Okay, in relation to its surroundings. So this is the situation, guys. Okay, so it cannot be the site. Okay, it's a situation. It's in relation to the surroundings. So for this means that for 1.1.2, we are going, of course, with y. Okay, so we're going with y for 1.1.2. Okay, let's head on to the next question, 1.1.3. So 1.1.3 says, purpose of land reform in South Africa. Okay, so what is the purpose of land reform? Okay, what are we trying to achieve? Y says increases access to water. Okay, increases access to water. Um, do we agree with that? I don't think I agree with that, because I don't think that's the main reason we are implementing land reform. Okay, to increase access to water. No. And then the second option says decreases poverty. Yes, that's what we want to do, guys. Okay, so remember, is land, guys, is an asset. Okay, so from this land, you can actually this can actually generate money for you. Okay, can from divide this into patches of land, practice farming, produce whatever that you can produce from here. Okay, crops, produce that and generate income, or maybe prevent hunger. Okay, because that's poverty. Okay, and so in this is what we are trying to achieve. We are trying to decrease poverty by of course, providing land to people, because land, as I said, again, guys, it's an asset. Okay, that means it creates, it can generate money for you. Okay, so that means that we are going with Z for 1.1.3. We are going with Z. Okay, let's head on to the next one, guys. So 1.1.4. So for 1.1.4, it says ensures communal land rights of farm workers. Okay, ensures communal land rights. Okay, so what is that? Is it land tenure or is it land redistribution? Okay, now land redistribution, and this is when government buys land, okay, and gives it to people. Okay, so they would buy this land, okay, and of course allocate this land to people that are landless, people who do not have land. Okay, now this is land redistribution. Okay, giving people land. That's it. That is land redistribution. Whereas land tenure, guys, land tenure allows us to have rights. It includes rights, it includes laws of land. Okay, so I'm implying that the answer that we are going with 1.1.4 is Y. Okay. 1.1.5. Let's go. Government allocates land to previously disadvantaged people. Okay, so allocates land to previously disadvantaged people. Now, this is um, the key point here. Previously disadvantaged people. This means that these are the people that, of course, lost land due to the apartheid laws, the unfair apartheid laws. So which um, concept or term refers or um, corresponds to this definition. Okay, so we have two options. We have land restitution and land redistribution. I know it can be confusing, guys, land reform, because it has all these terms that are quite similar, okay, and it's quite um, confusing. It's quite difficult to really um, understand all these. What's the difference between all these words? Okay, so we've already broken down land redistribution. We said this is when government gives uh, land, okay, buys land and gives land to who? Landless people. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you lost land um, during apartheid or you did not lose land. Government will buy land for you. Okay, so whereas land restitution, now restitution comes from restore. Okay, when you restore something, that means that it was in it was in a particular condition, and you want it to be in that condition again. Okay, so you're restoring it. Okay, so in this case, in this context, land restitution refers to government giving back land to people that lost land. Okay, so in this case, of course, that is land restitution, guys. We're going with why. Okay, the main difference here is that land redistribution, you're giving land to landless people. It doesn't matter whether you lost land, you were previously disadvantaged or not. Whereas land restitution is specific, so it's to only give land to previously disadvantaged people. Okay, then 1.1.6, challenge associated with land reform. Okay, challenge associated with land reform. So we have two options here. Y is willing buyer or seller clause, and then Z is more commercial farmers. So the willing buyer or seller. So a clause, guys, is a condition that you put there. So when you're selling your property, you have conditions that you put there um, in your, what do they call it? They call it OTP, offer to purchase. Okay, when you are in that particular um, document, you put it down there. Okay, that um, in order for me to buy this land, maybe it has to be subjected to research, to my own research. If I'm satisfied, then I will buy this land. So it's conditions that you put there before you actually buy that land. If those conditions are not met, then you cannot buy that land. Okay, that's clauses. Um, so I don't think that would be a challenge, a huge challenge. Land reform, though. The nitty gritties of um, conditions that are put there when you are buying land. I don't think that's the main problem. I think the main problem has to be that, okay, having more commercial farmers, because now you have a lot of commercial farmers. It's pretty difficult to take back land. Um, and this is my thinking process, by the way. Let me know what you guys think of this question, because it's quite tricky. So for that, small commercial farmers, so that means that government, because these are commercial farmers, that means that they participate. Um, they provide food They sell people food. Okay, so remember, commercial farmer sells people food. Okay, so they just sell food. They don't consume food like your subsistence farm. So they sell food. So that's food security, and they participate in the GDP. Okay, tax. So and so it would be quite difficult for us to take that land and, of course, redirect it, or give it back to usually someone who does not have the correct knowledge of how to use that land, to utilize that land, especially in the scale. Maybe that person is now or now has land that is in a large scale, that is on a large scale. So it's quite a challenge for us to take that land back. Okay, for government at least. So I don't know. I would go with that in this case. So with just more commercial farmers, it makes sense for me in that context. Okay. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys wrote, and of course, provide reasons. We are reason here in geography. Let's head on to the next question, 1.9.7. So the result of well-managed land reform. Okay, well-managed land reform. So what is the result? Is it equal access to land? So that is why, or unequal access to land. Of course, we are trying to ensure that everyone has equal access to land, guys. Okay, so that has to be our answer there. Okay, so that is why equal access to land. Okay, right. So let's move on. So for 1.2.1, so 1.2.1 says a central place town. Okay, so central place town. So this has to be, of course, the economic geography part. So central place town A offers high order goods and services. Okay, offers high order goods and services. Well, we really don't know that, guys. It must offer. I'm sure it does offer both high order good and low order good. Okay, remember central place town. Let me use those color rather. So a central place town. What is most important about it is that it offers goods and services to the surrounding rural areas. Okay, so that is what is important, guys. Whether it offers high order goods or low order goods, it should offer both types of um, goods. Okay, low order, high order. B offers only rural functions. Okay, no, it's not really true. Does not offer only rural functions. Okay, of course, there are shops there, so those are services. They provide services, of course. So it's not only primary activities. C services the surrounding rural area. Okay, now I would agree with this one. I would go with this one. And then D services only the urban area. So, guys, it's clear here that, of course, we are going with C. So that's C. Okay, for 1.2.1. Okay. Let me reduce the volume again. So let's head on to the next question, guys. Head on to the next question. So we said that is C. So 1.2.1, we went with C. Okay. Now we'll, of course, move on to 1.2.2. Okay, so in this 1.2.2, we see two products. Okay, we see red on the left and a car on the right hand side. Okay, and they say A is classified, let me zoom in, A is classified as a low order good compared to B. Okay, yes, indeed, A is a low order good compared to B, because A is what? So A says, option A says, is a luxury item and not needed daily. That is incorrect. Of course, A is not a luxury item, and we do actually need it daily. We actually buy daily bread. Okay, and then B has a lower price and is consumed regularly. Now, this is a possible answer. Okay, indeed it has a lower price, and indeed it is consumed regularly, daily, most of the time. And then C is non-perishable and not consumable. Okay, so non-perishable basically means that um, it can be stored for a very long time and not get damaged or ruined. And then not consumable, that means you cannot eat it, so which is not it is not sold here. Yeah, so which is very incorrect. And D says it has a higher price and is purchased less often. Well, that is incorrect. So we are going with B. Okay, so that's it. So we are for 1.2.2, the only answer that makes sense for us is B. Okay, bread has a lower price and is consumed daily. Okay, let's head on to the next question. 1.2.3. So for 1.2.3, say range refers to the dash to buy a product. Okay, range, guys. So this is, of course, when you are talking, when you are in that section where you are introduced to range, or threshold, population, the sphere of influence, so on and so on. So this is that part. Okay, so range, as we know, okay, so A says it's a minimum distance traveled, actually a maximum. Yes, it is a distance travel, but it is a maximum distance traveled. B, minimum customers required. That is incorrect. C, maximum distance traveled. Yes. So then D says maximum customers required. No. So of course we are going with C. Okay. A range refers to a maximum distance that you are willing to travel to purchase a product. Okay, so for 1.2.3, we are going with C. Okay, 1.2.4 now. So 1.2.4 says range. The range of a high order good is. Okay. Now, usually high order good you would not find it in your residential area. Okay, right next door. No, it's usually far away. Okay, it's usually far away, guys. Okay, so A says it's used small due to its daily use. That is incorrect. It's not small, first of all. It's usually far away and it's not used daily. Okay, you cannot buy a Ferrari each and every day. B, it's large. Yes, it is large due to its daily use. Daily use, incorrect. That's the part that is incorrect here. C is small. That is incorrect due to its high cost. Now that is correct. The high cost part is correct. The small range part is incorrect. So then D is large due to its high cost. Yes. Okay. So we are going with D for 1.2.4. Then 1.2.5 says dash refers to the minimum number of customers needed to make a business profitable. Ha! Now, of course, that definition is threshold population, guys. We don't even need to go through all of these options. Okay, so threshold population, and that is B. Okay, so it helps a lot that you study these definitions, guys, because of course you can score a lot of marks here in the multiple choice. Then 1.2.6 says the threshold population of a grocery store is, okay, so threshold population. So threshold population, of course, again, is the minimum number of customers, okay, that are needed for a business to be profitable. So for a grocery store, the threshold population, how many people does it need? Does it need a huge number of people? So most of the time, guys, like when your threshold population is very high, that means that usually means that your product is costly. Okay, so your product is a high order good. Okay, so that's why you need a huge threshold population, because it's likely not going to be bought. And so you need a large number of people to increase the chances that it is bought. Okay. So in this case, a grocery store, its threshold population, I would go with low. Okay, because grocery store sells low order goods. Okay. So I'm going to just mark off. So let's just mark off. Let's use. So we'll mark off the high, the options that say threshold population of a grocery store is high, because that is just incorrect. And of course, we will look at this. So A says it is low because it has more high order goods. No. D says it is low because it has more low order goods. Yes. Okay. So for 1.2.6, we're going with D. Okay, made a mistake there. So we're going with D for 1.2.6. Let's move, guys. Let's move. 1.2.7. The area from which a settlement draws its customers. Come on, that's the definition of a sphere of influence. Okay, so I won't even go through the other options. So of course we are going with B for this one. It is the sphere of influence. So for 1.2.7 we are going with B. Okay, and we move on to 1.2.8. Okay, so 1.2.8, what do we have here? Okay, so 1.2.8 says the sphere of influence of a city is greater than a village because it has a okay. So first of all, I should have just interpreted the graph, but okay, that's fine. So um, in the y-axis we have the radius in kilometers. Okay, so of course the radius speaks to the size. Okay. Is it small or is it big like that? Okay, so radius is like that distance from the center of the circle to its circumference. So basically in this case refers to the size. Okay, if it has a small radius, then it is small. Large radius, large. Okay, right. So now, so we have the radius and it increases up. Okay, so that means we're going up in terms of size. Okay, and then on the x-axis we have the population. Okay, population increases as well. So this means that a village usually has a population of 1,000 people and a radius of about maybe 7.5 kilometers. Okay, a town, more population, higher radius. City, even more population, higher radius. Okay, bigger radius. So on and so on. Okay, so as you can see, it's basically the size and also the population. So we are comparing the sphere of influence of a city and that of a village, saying that it is greater. The sphere of influence of a city is greater because, well, because it has a population of 1,000. City actually has a population of 100,000. Okay, so it has a smaller radius. So actually mark these off. These are, so the population of 1,000 is incorrect, and the smaller radius part is incorrect. What else? It has a population of 100,000. Yes, indeed. Okay. So as you can see, the city, of course, if you go down, you can see that, okay, it has actually a population of 100,000. So this is correct. Okay. and it has a larger radius. Okay, yes, indeed, it has a larger radius than that of a village, because a village has about 7.5, a city has about, I don't know, 60 or 70 kilometers. So of course it has a larger radius. So we are going with Roman figure 3 and 4. Okay, so of course that corresponds with which option? A, no, not B, not C, it's D. Okay, so it's D. So 1.2.8, we're going with D. Okay, all right, right. So let's move on then, guys. So that is 1.2. We're done with 1.2. We're moving on to the next question. So for 1.3, we have an extract and there's a graph as well. Okay, so 1.3 says refer to the extract and graph below based on rural depopulation. Okay, right, okay. Excuse me. The title says depopulation in the Alfred Nzo. I hope it's Nzo, guys, or yeah, Alfred Nzo district municipality. Okay, all right. So what do we see here? So of course we have two graphs here, and the first graph, as you can see, so on the y-axis we have years, so we are going up in years and into the future actually, and then the population is on the y-axis. So this means, what this graph tells us is that the urban population has been increasing from the 1950s, has been increasing, guys. It's still increasing now, okay, but of course it's not increasing as it did from 1950 to 2000. So yeah, it's still increasing, but quite gradually. And then the rural population, okay, it was increasing. It increased from 1950 all the way to 2000, and it actually became quite constant. Okay, and then it actually decreased from 2020. So we can see that, okay, the rural population is actually declining, has actually been declining from 2020 going on, and we are expecting it to further decrease. Okay, so these are projections. This is 2040, this is 2050. So looking into the future, we can see that, okay, it's actually going to uh, decrease even more. Okay, so um, let's read the extract. Villages in the Alfred Nzo district municipality in the remote Eastern Cape cover thousands of hectares along the N2. Of course, that's the national route. Extreme social and economic poverty exist in these villages. Okay, um, this is a common problem in many other parts of rural South Africa. The Alfred Nzo district municipality is the most impoverished. Okay, so it's the most poor rural region in the country, where more than 65% of the people live below the poverty line. By the way, the poverty line, guys, is like a set standard. For example, if you earn maybe, I don't know how that particular, if you earn below a particular set poverty line, I don't know what's the poverty line right now, and that means that you're considered poor. Okay, but I remember in university we were arguing with that okay, some people actually do not have income coming in, but for an example, farmers who actually have wealth like cattle, okay, they have cattle and still they are below the poverty line. Okay, so it's not really um, an effective way doesn't really reflect the truth. Okay, because you can be below the poverty line, but you still have cattle, you have sheep, you have pigs, so on and so on. So um, we especially like as people with tradition, we consider that people very wealthy. Okay, but of course, the poverty line thing is the standard, it's a global standard. So yeah. By the way, guys, sorry about that. So let's just move on. And 70% of the population is not economically active. Okay, so that means that they are not working, they do not have businesses, they do not have jobs. Okay, okay, so this is really um really difficult. Okay, so these extreme social and economic conditions are made worse by limited access to services, especially water. Okay, there's no water, there's limited water, healthcare, and education. Okay, fewer economic activities have a negative social and economic impact on the area. Um, okay, rural settlements are no longer an attractive option for rural dwellers. Mm, mm, okay. So of course, guys, if I was writing, like let's say I was in an exam, I would be, of course, underlining what I think is quite important. Limited access to services, okay, because this can be quite beneficial when you're, of course, answering um, questions. Okay, so let's go through the questions then. So 1.3.1 says, what evidence on the graph indicates that rural depopulation has been taking place since 2020? Okay, so we can see, guys, that um, the graph actually declines. Okay, so it actually declines from 2020, or you can say it decreases, or yeah. Okay, so that is our answer there. Okay, so that graph declines from 2020, or goes down, or yeah. Okay, so that is the answer that we are going with there. Okay, so and then for 1.3.2, we say that um, name two social services in the extract that are lacking in the Alfred Nzo district. Okay, two social services. Um, so of course, these are the social services that we are talking about, guys: education, healthcare, water. So that is, so you can choose anyone who's two of them. It has to be two of them. So it's healthcare. So we are naming. Actually, we are just naming. So you can say and lack of water, or you can say education. So these are social services. Okay, so we are naming, guys. Okay, right. Let's head on to the next question then. So 1.3.3 says, give two possible reasons for the lack of social services in the Alfred Nzo district. Okay, two possible reasons. Okay, so what could have caused the lack of social services? Okay, um, so this is what I would write. So I would say due uh, to the lack, okay, or shortage, uh, shortage of businesses. Okay, um, local municipality. Okay, remember, guys, um, the municipality is responsible for these social services. Okay, and they actually generate this income by charging businesses. Okay, charging property rates, fines. Okay, of course they do get money from the national government, but they actually do um, um, generate income from these businesses. Because you do not have businesses, remember, when people are gone, when you have like shortage of population, that means you do not have customers to support businesses. Businesses are definitely going to close. Okay, and of course this is the rural areas, of course. So businesses, we know that companies, industries, they are not there, just not there. Okay, so how do we put this? Local municipality cannot generate, okay, um, enough income, okay, to do what? Um, so to Okay, so let's just put in brackets here. Let's put in brackets. So come, we gotta put in brackets and say from charges. Okay, we can say maybe property rates. Okay, uh, properties, guys, especially people who buy properties, they have to pay the municipalities uh, charges, fines like traffic fines or whatsoever. Those go to the local municipality. Okay, so to provide um, services, okay, or we can say or build, okay, can say or build, so facilities, okay, that provide these services. Okay, I hope this is clear to you, it makes sense to you. Yeah, I really hope so. Let me know again, guys, what you guys wrote. I might be missing some things as well. So, how many marks do we have here? We have 4 marks actually. So this would count as 2 marks actually. So we actually need another one, another point. Um, um, so because you have a shortage of people, okay, because there's a declining population, okay, and so what government, especially like schools, when you are building schools, guys, you need a certain, excuse me, threshold population. Okay, government cannot just build school anywhere. Okay, there has to be children and a certain number of children. You cannot just be a village that has maybe 50 children, and you have to now you are demanding to have a primary school, a high school. That is like just not sufficient enough. Okay, so and it would be a waste of government resources. So due to this declining, so let's just put it in this way. So let's say a declining population uh, doesn't promote um, or encourage. Okay, I like the word encourage. Encourage. Um, because they say they are limited. Okay, they might be there, but they are limited. Like you cannot further expand and have more. So I cannot encourage the provision. Okay, provision of services, uh, or let's say of these services in large scale. Okay, of these services uh, on a large scale. Okay, let's just put it that way. Okay, so yeah, that would be my answer there. Of course, there are many answers, guys. Like, this should not worry you. If you do not write this, please do not be worried. Like, there are many, and I do want to explore those many options, but I'm just thinking of time. Okay, and you guys can actually it actually gives you room for you guys to provide your answers or other possible options here. Okay, so this is not um, of course the only answers that are there. Okay? There are many answers. You're going to look at the memo. There are many possibilities on the memo, of course, and so don't worry about that. 1.3.4, why do rural settlements experience a negative economic impact as a result of rural depopulation? Okay, so now this one, of course, guys, like, you have to think of this in terms of like a business, and of course in terms of the worker, you as a worker, um, and me as an employer, maybe. Okay, we both lose. Okay? So um, So let's say we start with, okay, business owners. We'll start with business owners. Um, um, going to say that business owners have their businesses closed. Okay, their businesses closed, and then closed down due to insufficient threshold population. Okay, or yeah, to yeah, insufficient, yeah. Okay, remember, guys, you need a certain number of people in order to generate a profit. Okay, um, so because now a lot of people are moving out, so now you no longer have enough number of people to support your business, of course, and so you close down. Okay, that's a negative economic impact. You lose money, okay, because you could have made, and you could have generated income there. Okay, and of course this further affects the employee. Okay, so you can also say there is a shortage of jobs. Okay, due to businesses closing down. Okay, so this is what I would have written, of course. Uh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, okay, so let's move on to the next question. 1.3.5 is the last question of 1.3. Says, zoom in there, I don't see clearly. Suggest sustainable measures that could be implemented by municipalities of rural areas to reduce this negative economic impact. Okay, what can we do? Now, guys, of course, this is you can't this one you uh, cannot get this one wrong, guys. Yeah, I cannot get this one wrong. So there's many actually. I'm just going to write um, what comes to mind. So we could say that they should improve, okay, infrastructure, okay, and also services, okay, because you don't want people to move out, right? So provide what is not there, okay, um, and especially infrastructure, okay, infrastructure to attract, okay, who wants to have a business in a rural area that does not have a good infrastructure, does not have any service, how can you operate there, guys? Okay, it's quite difficult. So this is the way to attract investors. Okay, people who are going to put in money to actually launch their businesses there. Okay. Okay, so that's what we are going with. Okay, for the first point. Second point would be advertise. Okay, why don't we advertise this town? Okay, why don't we um, promote tourism, guys? Okay, um, these okay, let's say advertise these villages, and the Eastern Cape is really beautiful when it comes to um, uh, topography, when it comes to landforms, when it comes to the beauty of South Africa. Eastern Cape is very beautiful, guys. Okay. So we have advertised these villages, um, or maybe villages beauty, okay, or you can say tourism. Okay, let's promote the tourism. Okay, maybe I should have rather said promote tourism, so that we can have tourists spending their money there, supporting the businesses, support businesses, and possibly maybe invest. Okay, uh, okay, possibly invest. Okay, let me not write possibly. Let me rather say invest, or reside in these areas. Okay, so this would be a win for these villages, of course. Okay, in these villages. Okay, so that's what I'm going with, guys. There's a lot more, and a lot more you can do here. There's a lot more you can do. Okay, so um, again, let me know, what did you guys write there. Okay, what did you guys write? Okay, so this is what I'm going with. Okay, for 1.3, and yeah, let's move on to the next question. So of course, our next question is 1.4. Here's what it looks like. Right, so is what we have. It's 1.4. Okay, what do they say? So refer to the extract, photograph A, and sketch B. Okay, so we have photograph A, so there we go, and sketch B. Okay, so this is of course a sketch, and that's a photograph. Okay, fine. Based on what? Commercial decentralization. Okay. So let's read the extract and then we'll answer the questions. CBD decentralization here to stay. Good, good. A central business district is the original commercial business center of a city. Okay, so commercial, of course, refers to trading, selling. Commercial farm. Think of that. They sell. So we know that mainly trading is happening in the CBD. There are now many outlying business districts, okay, which is the OBDs. Okay, so these are like the other business districts, which are basically, of course, located far away from the CBD, okay, or maybe neighboring the CBD, okay, due to, of course, many reasons that we shall explore. So now there are many of these. Okay, for an example, like Sentin, I've made an example of that. So of course you'd have your CBD. In US they say it's the downtown, and then you'd have other business districts. Okay, So these are caused by commercial decentralization. Okay, so apart from the physical expansion of urban settlements that made CBDs more difficult to reach, okay, um, okay, apart from this physical expansion, okay, it made it more difficult to reach the CBD. The causes for growing decentralization of businesses include high rents, crime, pollution, and the lack of parking. Okay, the lack of parking. Okay, so I'm underlying these because, yeah, they are the key takeouts here. And then, second paragraph, well located decentralized nodes, okay, remain sought after for businesses looking for secure premises for their companies. Secure, guys, because we talked about crime there. You want, of course, as a business, you don't want to operate in an area that, of course, has high crime. So that will badly affect your income, your goals. Okay, so businesses looking for secure premises for their companies, park-like surroundings. Okay, so pretty clean surroundings and enough parking facilities. Okay, this is what they are looking for. Okay, because, yeah, in the CBD, your parking is quite difficult because a lot of people get there. There's a lot of people there, a lot of cars, traffic congestion. It's just frustrating. Office parks, neighborhood shopping centers, and regional shopping centers are often close to sought after residential areas. Okay, which provide a customer base. Okay, so we are saying that these businesses likely decentralized to they move to these office parks, these neighborhood shopping centers, because a lot of customers there, where people live, where people are close. So we are actually going to where people are. All right. Okay, so let's answer the questions then. Okay, let's get on to it. So here we have 1.4.1, and 1.4.1 says define the concept commercial decentralization. Okay, so this is a definition, it's 2 marks. Okay, so this is, of course, the movement. So it says the movement of businesses um, away, so away from urban centers. Okay, call it urban centers, or you can call it centralized locations, um, centralized areas. Okay, areas. Okay, so that's what I would have written. That's like simple, guys. Like, yeah, don't have to be complex about it, and just, yeah, it's simply the movement of businesses away from urban centers. Okay, or the CBD can say so. So, yeah, right. So let's head on then to 1.4.2. 1.4.2 says state one factor evident in the CBD. Okay, so one factor evident in the CBD that encourages commercial decentralization. So what I see here is that you have these buildings that are quite very close to each other, and they are high-rise buildings. High-rise because, well, land is expensive, and so they build going up. Okay, that's why we have plenty of high-rise buildings. Okay, so you can see that if I were to try to open a business, where would it be? There's no space here. Okay, so I would go with competition for space. Okay, It has to be something that you see here. Yeah, that's what I see, guys. I don't know. I don't know what you guys wrote here, because it has to be something that you see. Okay. Then 1.4.3 says, how do high rentals and crime mentioned in the extract lead to increasing commercial decentralization? Oh man, geography questions. Okay. Okay. Um. So of course, the rental part, guys, of course, will affect the financial part of the business. Okay. Um. You cannot even project higher returns, higher income, higher revenue, because rentals are high and they consistently increase. Okay. So um, so this decreases the profit, guys, because decreases, it increases the expenses. Okay, so you spend more than you earn more. Okay, so let's say high rentals um, decrease expected revenue. Okay, or maybe increases expenses. Yeah, decrease expected revenue. Okay, which encourages businesses to move away from the CBD to areas where they can make more profit. Okay, as rent, as expenses, let's say as rentals. Okay, this case, which is an expense, are low. Okay, or relatively low. Okay, relatively low. Right. So that is what I would write there. And the crime part, of course, as a customer and as an employee, I want to feel safe, guys. Okay, I don't want to be working in an area where I will be constantly harassed. I'll have my possessions taken each and every time I go out for a break. Okay, so of course you wouldn't want to work in that area, okay, in that neighborhood. Okay, so how do we put this then? Okay, I hope I'm putting it well, because writing is really much different from when you are speaking. Okay, so crime, let's say, affects employees, customers, um, etc. Creating um, an sorry about that. Let's put this here, an unsafe environment, workplace. Okay, and environment. Okay, as for the customers. This results in fewer customers because everyone wants to be safe where they are. Okay, loss of employees, no one will want to work there. And if you don't have workers, how are you going to operate? Okay, loss of revenue. Okay, so businesses then relocate to safer areas. Okay, or let's say relocate uh, actually, yeah, that's fine, to safer areas or for safety purposes. Okay. Okay, next question, 1.4.4. So what does it say? Explain why neighborhood shopping centers are an attractive option for the location of businesses. Okay. So said here, office parks, neighborhood shopping centers, and regional shopping centers are often sought after to provide a customer base. Okay, okay, that's fine. You know what? Let's so we'll say so. This is also for marks as well. So we need 2 points. So we are going to say these these are they are closer. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Closer to residential areas. Okay, where people stay. Okay, let's rather say and hence convenient for customers. Okay, okay. Right. And then um, there's there's relatively lower rentals. Okay. Lower rentals. Okay. Um, and reduced crimes. Okay, because these areas, guys, these areas usually have private security companies there. Okay, they usually have private companies going around. Okay, so it's much safer. Um, okay, okay, so and therefore increased revenue. Okay, okay, right. Um, oh, let me clear this out, guys. This looks like a mess. So let's do this. Okay, right. Um, what else? So 1.4.5. Okay, what do we have? 1.4.5. So how can the increase in the number of neighborhood shopping centers have a negative impact on businesses in the CBD? Okay. Um, okay. Okay, of course. Now because there's like heavy competition, okay, people are no longer going to go to the CBD because first of all, it's congested. The air is not clean. Um, it's very hot. Okay, urban heat island. So there's many reasons. Okay, and so people are actually not going to go there. Okay, they want to be in safer, clean areas. Okay, so there's a lot that we can say here. I'm trying to think what can okay, or maybe we can say um, the CBD loses customers. Okay, um, and this okay loses customers as they now shop in the OBDs. Okay, for safety reasons. Okay, um, cleaner air. Um, and the road is not congested as well, so I'll just write etc. Um, okay, so if it loses customers, okay, so and say enhance, okay, so enhance income, right? Okay, so that's a negative impact. Okay, they said the negative impact didn't talk about maybe financial impact. Okay, it's just negative impact. So of course, um, rentals, on the other hand, in the CBT, they will not go down, guys. No, 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 no. Um, rentals and crime. So that's how they lose money. Okay. So that further exacerbate the problem. So rentals and high crime. Okay, in the CBT, further loses CBD businesses, man. Okay, that's it. On to the next one. So this is 1.4. We move on to 1.5. Okay, so this must be, I think, let's see. So 1.5 should be, yeah, that's the last question before we actually get to your question two. Yeah, okay. All right, so 1.5, and I've been getting a lot of questions regarding this. Okay, so it's quite challenging one. Okay, we've never um, came across such questions, especially I think the last one because they um, I've had messages on that. Okay, so let's get on to it then. So say refer to the source below. Um, on the influence of public transport systems on traffic congestion. Okay, okay. So when it comes to public transport systems, guys, what are we referring to? Actually, Of course, public transport, you're talking about trains, buses, taxis, so on and so on. So the whole system, of course, speaks to roads. What can the buses themselves, roads, prices, everything. Okay, so it's the public transport system. Okay, it's the whole thing. Okay, so what do we see here? So we have a sketch here. Says 60 commuters in 24 cars. Okay, then 60 commuters in 5 minibus taxis. Okay, and then 60 commuters in one bus. Okay, I see what's happening here. So um as you can see, if we all have maybe cars, there's 60 commuters, the same number of people, each person has their own car. So this of course would cause traffic congestion. But if we would use public transport like minibus, taxis, and buses, of course, that would reduce the number of cars on the road and hence reduce traffic congestion. Okay, because traffic congestion is actually caused by having a lot of cars on one lane. Okay, especially when you have them on one lane, it just makes things difficult. Okay, so um, this basically implies that we can reduce the number of cars or traffic congestion if we would use a bus instead of a car. Okay, so that's um, that's actually a good, a very good point, popular point by the way. The impact of public transport on traffic congestion. The use of public transport is encouraged because it reduces traffic congestion. Okay, in South Africa, the most common form of public transport is the use of minibus taxis. Although public transport, which is your minibus taxis and buses, so these are like examples, plays a valuable role in reducing the number of private vehicles on the road. It is associated with a number of challenges. These challenges are associated with economic injustices to commuters. Okay, economic injustices to commuters. So that is like being unfair, but in terms of um, the economic perspective. Okay, so how are they unfair in terms of the economic um, part? Okay, all right, okay. Now I can personally say that where I stay, which is a township actually, um, economic injustices from uh, public transport is real. Okay, it is real. We've just been sent a document that states that there are changes in terms with regards to prices, and so they are going up, and it's really unfair because like they go up every year, and the petrol or diesel fluctuates. Actually, it can go down, it can go up, but when it comes to the prices of taxis, buses, they go up each and every time. Okay, and remember, taxis, as you guys saw, they actually they can have control over the country. Okay, they can negatively impact the economy of the country whenever they decide. Okay, so that is like quite unfortunate, guys. Like because the reason is because they control over 80% of the market share. That means that as people who, so I'm just going to draw here, as people who are, let's say this is us, people who are commuters. Okay, so people who travel from home to work daily. Okay, people who depend on these. We don't have our own vehicles, so out of the 100% of the country, taxi, minibus taxis control more than 80%, guys. Can you imagine? That's like, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so they have power actually. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on, guys. 1.5.1. Let me write that down there. Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Let me know. In your community, do you have the fair prices increased? Have they increased for this year and this year? Let me know in the comments, guys. This is a pandemic. 1.5.1. According to the source, which type of transport would create the most traffic congestion? Okay, according to the source, of course, this is the type of transport. Okay, so our answer there is private vehicles. Okay, private vehicles. Okay, what else? 1.5.2. Give a reason for your answer. Okay, so the reason for the answer, we can say that. Can we put it this way? Uh, okay, let's say plenty of commuters um, in individual private cars, vehicles, cause more traffic congestion, okay, than um, um, than the same number of people. Okay, so basically, I'm basically interpreting what we see there. So that the same number. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. Same number of people, but in one large vehicle. Okay, let's say in one large vehicle. Okay, of course there are many cars, guys. Of course, it's about the number of vehicles. Okay, the fact that you can put in plenty of people, plenty of commuters in one large vehicle, you've prevented possible traffic congestion. Okay, so simple as that. Next question, 1.5.3. How can improved public transport systems decrease traffic congestion? Okay, so how can improved public transport systems decrease traffic congestion? So how can we do that? Um, okay, so improved public transport systems. Okay, for an example, let's say bus only lanes. Okay, for an example. Okay, so bus only lanes help. Okay, so this is improving. So when you are actually um, um, when you are actually creating more lanes, but lanes for specific types of vehicles, in this case for buses. Okay, so you are actually preventing traffic congestion because those buses could have been in those lanes, so as they could have been in those lanes and they could have participated in um, could have participated in traffic congestion. Okay, so like you see, let's say this is the number of vehicles. Okay, in one lane. Okay, it's even quite worse when it is in one lane. You know? Okay, which promote, of course. So which promote traffic congestion. Okay, congestion. Okay, so how many marks do we have here? It's 2 times 2, so it's 2 points, 2 marks each. Um, what can we say, guys? As many. Um, okay, maybe we could also say like underground. Okay, talk about underground. Um, faster. Okay, because no one wants to be. It's always about efficiency, guys, being fast. Okay, so if you can provide a route or a lane, or a type of vehicle that can go on the ground and that can be fast. Okay, and so underground fast, let's say public um, systems or of vehicles. Okay, um, such as let's say the Gautrain train, for example. Okay. The reason it was created, um, part of the reason is this: they help, because that's what you need, guys. You want to help avoid the morning rush. Okay, avoid joining the morning rush. Okay, because of course it's not traffic congestion all day. It's just during the times when people actually go to work and during the times when actually people get back from work. Okay, joining the morning rush. Okay, I'm sorry about that morning rush. So it's when you see traffic congestion is usually during the morning or during the evening when people are back from work. So, but there's quite plenty, guys. I could even talk about the street patterns as well. 1.5.6. Oh no, it's not 1.5.6. 1.5.4. Okay, in a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, explain why the use of public transport such as minibus, taxis, and buses could be an economic injustice to commuters. Mm, mm, this one, okay. So let's see. Um, what can we say? So okay, so always discussed. I think one point we said that um, they actually increase fare prices. Okay, so say minibus taxis, especially minibus taxis, okay, because they have the dominant market share, such as minibus taxis. Um, okay, okay, and they are usually which are part of the informal settlement, the informal sector. Sorry about that. Part of the informal sector, usually, okay, because now we see that some cars are actually registered, guys. Okay, usually part of the informal sector, they raise or increase um, prices uncontrollably. Okay, increase fair prices um, uncontrollably. Okay, okay, as they are not regulated by the government. Okay, because once you are um, not regulated, guys, you do as you please. Okay, okay, that's two marks. So of course that raises a financial problem for commuters. Um, can also um, say that because you have to always have cash, okay, when you are in a minibus taxi, you always have to have cash, and so that of course makes you vulnerable to crime. Okay, because when you have cash, then of course you can easily lose that cash. Okay, so so we can say that lack of technology, uh, or let's rather say financial technology. Okay, they're not modern, still operates on that old um, um, create maybe encourages commuters to carry cash, to always carry cash. Okay? Which makes them vulnerable. Then vulnerable to crime. Okay. What else, guys? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, and there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. We can also write about. Can also say that um, the competition for market share between minibus taxis and buses actually forces or increases the fare prices as well. Um, and okay, so let's write that down. Okay, okay, because each and every entity wants to own the market share or dominate the market share. Okay, of course, guys, like this is what I would have written again, but this doesn't mean that your answers are not correct. Okay, so between buses and taxis, further increases. Because as much as you would want to maybe reduce prices so that you attract more customers, um, the taxes are actually like dominating. Okay, they are dominating, and they are inside these residential areas. Okay, so it's quite difficult for buses to actually compete. So increases fare prices. Okay, and you can also say that minibus taxis um, or we can say that commuters have minimal right to dispute increases. Okay, who are you going to dispute the increases of taxes to? Have minimal rights to dispute um, the continuously rising. Was continuously guys, my writing is not make sure, man. Continuously, continuously, I'm really not sure about this. Okay, continuously, meters have minimal rise to dispute continuously rising. I'm sure that is incorrect spelling there. Rising fare prices. As, of course, as taxes dominate the market share, dominate the industry. Okay, right. So this is what I would write. Um, Let me know in the comments, teachers. Would you give me the hallmarks or maybe just some of these? Okay, let me know in the comments. And there's actually some good, suggestions that I received from some of the learners. So, guys, I'm not disagreeing with your answers. Your answers actually, I think, I actually would mark them correct because they actually are, they actually make sense and they actually are true. So it's really subjective, guys. Sometimes, like, what do you think? What comes to mind at that particular moment? Okay, because I can actually think of many if I would give myself a chance and also read you guys suggestions as well. Um, Okay, so let's then move on. Okay, so we move on to question two and see what's happening. Right, so the next question is question two. Okay, so this is the economic geography of South Africa. Okay, so 2.1, we have the choose correct answer, correct word, and then for 2.2 we actually have um, the multiple choice question. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, let's write that down. Let's write that down. So 2.1.1 says mining is an example of a primary or secondary economic activity. I'm sure everyone got this correct. So of course that's a primary. Okay? Mining is a primary economic activity, guys. We know that. We are extracting raw materials from the natural environment. Okay. 2.1.2, the price of minerals fluctuates. That means it goes up and down in the mining industry due to the foreign exchange or foreign investment rate. It's the foreign exchange rate. Okay. You can see always are given the changes in the news every day. Okay, so of course it's the foreign exchange rates. Okay, so and then 2.1.3, geothermal gradient or unskilled labor is an example of a physical factor that affects mining. Okay, so so it is a what? It is a physical factor. Okay. Now unskilled labor, guys, is a social factor. Now geothermal gradient, right? So it's basically a relationship between um, it's between temperature and height. Okay. So geo, that's height, thermal, that's temperature. So as you guys go down, okay, so this will be the temperature and I will use this as the height. Okay, so of course as we go down in terms of the height, what happens um, in terms of temperature? In terms of temperature goes up. Okay, so the deeper you go, actually the temperature is actually increasing. Okay, so as you go down, temperature is increasing, so it makes it difficult for miners, of course, to work in these environments, especially when it is hot. And so that's a huge problem, okay, for these mining companies. Okay, so that is the physical factor that affects mining, that is geothermal gradient. Okay. Right. Dient. Okay. Right. Next question. 2.1.4 says platinum is an example of a renewable or non-renewable resource. Renewable, that means that you can actually reuse it again. Okay. Non-renewable, you cannot like have it again, like forming again. Okay. So all minerals, guys, are non-renewable. They are non-renewable. 2.1.5, platinum is mined in South Africa. Where? In the Western Cape or in the Northwest? It's in the Northwest. Okay. Do not get platinum in the Western Cape. 2.1.6, platinum is used as a raw material in the production or generation of power or jeweler. Jeweler. Okay, we use coal in power. Then in 2.1.7, labor unrest or labor availability in South Africa impacts negatively on the production of platinum. Okay. It's labor unrest, of course, the strikes, guys, of course, and we've seen a lot of incidences. It's really quite tough, okay, seeing what is happening currently with these mining companies. A lot of people are being injured. A lot of people, we are losing a lot of people, um, and that's not what is supposed to happen. So um, it's quite a difficult time that we are in today. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on, guys. The tertiary sector is also referred to as the dash sector. Okay, tertiary sector. What are we doing there? Tertiary sector, we are providing services, so it's also called the service sector, guys. Okay, so that is B. Then 2.2.2 cannot be informal sector, cannot be health sector, transport sector. Okay, yes, health provides services, but that as saying it is a health sector, that is us narrowing its definition, because not only, yes, health is part of, okay, so it has to be the service. Cannot be the health, cannot be the transport, even though they both provide services. 2.2.2, an example of an activity in the tertiary sector is A. Mining for gold. No. B. Um, Manufacturing wine. No. C. Okay, because manufacturing wine is like processing. Okay, mining is primary. Um, the primary activity. Foreign exchange. Okay, that is a good one. Okay, buying stocks and yeah, so that is actually a service. Canning beans. Canning beans is processing. Okay, so we are going with C for 2.2.2. Okay, so I'm going to move to 2.2.3, which is actually on another another page. So 2.2.3. So 2.2.3, what do we have? Countries that are dominated by the tertiary sector reflect A or N. Okay, so we have four Roman figures, we have to choose two. Okay, and they usually reflect or N, highly skilled labor force, two, poorly skilled labor force. Okay, so actually I would go with highly skilled labor force. And three, efficient transport system, a variety of mining activities. Okay, so usually, guys, this is how it goes, right? So usually, so countries that are dominated by the tertiary sector are actually um, more economically developed countries, okay, and ETCs, okay. So that uh, they usually, so they would usually import uh, raw materials from LETCs, okay, and process them, okay. So they would process them, of course, and then what? Then they sell them, okay, okay, or provide service, okay. So in this case, so I was trying to draw a dollar there, but yeah, okay. So of course, we usually have they don't usually have a variety of mining activities. Okay, and is because they usually import these raw materials because they know there's more value there. They add value and then they sell that at a higher price. Okay, so I wouldn't say they have a variety of mining activities. Okay, I would say, of course, they have an efficient transport system. Okay, indeed, of course, if you want to have shops, and because of course you're constantly transporting your stock, so on and so on. So it's usually efficient. They have an efficient transport system, and usually they have a highly skilled labor force. Okay, so providing services. Okay, so that is what I will go with, which is Roman figure 1 and Roman figure 3. Okay, so poorly skilled labor force is usually countries that are dominated by the primary sector, but it's not. Of course, everything is not everything is black, just black and white, guys. Like that's of course, but most of the countries are usually poorly skilled labor force. So it's Roman figure 1 and 3, so that is C. And 2.2.4, the contractual arrangement between countries relating to their trade relationship is known as what? A trade agreement. It's the first one, guys. It has to be the first one. Balance of payment? No. Trade strategy? No. Guys, you can see that like there's this word arrangement here and trade arrangement or agreement. So of course, that is once there's a contract, that means that we are agreeing on something. So we have to go with A for 2.2.4. Next question, 2.2.5, goods that are exchanged within a country is known as what? Okay, is it international trade? No, it's not international trade. That is exchanging between two or more countries. Is it regional? Okay, it's still between countries. Domestic? Now you're talking. Okay, so provincial? No, not really. So we are going with domestic. So that is domestic trade. Okay, domestic. Remember something like, for example, domestic livestock. You find it here in the yard. Oh yeah, right. Okay. So this the type of trade shown on the map is dash trade. Okay, so we're importing from the US. Okay, going into South Africa. From South Africa, then we're exporting to um, exporting to the Europe. Okay, exporting to Europe. So what type of trade is that? That is, of course, international, guys. Okay, it cannot be regional because usually regional is like just a couple of countries. For an example, countries in the southern part of SA. So that would be regional. Okay, countries that are next to each other. These countries are actually far away from each other. So that's why I'm going with international. So it's D. So we're going with D for 2.2.6. Then move on to 2.2.7. Guys, I'm really sorry about the mic. I'm trying to really, that's why I've been absent. I'm trying to upgrade my equipment because it's just not working. So I just hope that I will be able to actually get better equipment because it's really, really bad. I'm really sorry about that. 2.2.7, the economic disadvantage of importing goods. Okay. Creation of local employment, no. Production suffers local. Ah, goods become cheaper. Growth of local industries. Oh, we need to think about this one. Hmm. Um, okay, the economic. It has to be the economic. So financial, guys, financial disadvantage of importing goods. So when we buy goods, it can't be there's no growth of local industries. So it's between. So we are marking off. So when you are a bit confused or not sure about the answer, just mark off the ones that you see that they are totally out of. So production suffers local. Production suffers locally. Uh, okay, but that's not a financial concern though. The main economic disadvantage is that goods become cheaper. Okay. Um, hmm, okay, this is quite challenging a bit. Well, goods become cheaper, guys, and so of course that, for an example, the Shein clothing line, they sell like very cheap clothes, and of course it's quite difficult for the local businesses to compete with that because cheap, and it would just not make any sense to reduce their prices because they would not make profit. Remember, every goal of a business is to make profit. So the production suffers locally. How so? So I am more inclined with C here, guys. Okay? I'm more inclined with C. Um, so yes, indeed, goods become cheaper. Okay, so that's what I would go with. Okay, goods become cheaper, so that is C. So for 2.2.7, I'm heading on. I'm going with C, guys. Okay. Let me know if you think I'm wrong there. Okay, so it's 2.2.7. Do we have 2.2.8? Oh yes, we actually do. All right. Um, 2.2.8. An advantage of South Africa having favorable balance of trade. 2.2.8 says, so we have four Roman figures again. Having a favorable balance of trade basically means you are exporting more than importing. Okay, you are selling more. So foreign capital decreases. That's not an advantage. Um, Jobs are created. Okay. Retrenchment of workers stimulates economic growth. Actually, um, guys, is an advantage. It cannot be foreign capital decreases. It actually increases because people will see that okay, you're selling more. What if I invest my money there? That means that I'm going to make more money. So I will go with Roman figure 2. Jobs are created indeed because you are selling more. Okay, that means more businesses are opening up, or production is actually being um, implemented at a larger scale. Um, okay, retrenchment of workers, that's not an advantage, and it cannot be associated with favorable trade of balance of trade. So I'm going with Roman figure 2 and Roman figure 4. So 2 and 4, that is D. So I'm going with D for 2.2.8. Okay, we move on to 2.3. So with 2.3, we have uh, an infographic on maize farming. So of course, guys, it's this is what you were told by our teachers, that this is the type of crop that will be examinable this year. So yeah, maize farming in South Africa. More than 10 million, um, more than 10 million tons of maize grain is produced in South Africa annually on approximately 3.1 million hectares of land. Half of the production consists of white maize for human food consumption. Okay, maize needs um, between 450 to 600 millimeters of rainfall per season, which is mainly acquired from the soil moisture reserves. The challenges in maize production include variations in environmental and climatic conditions, poor soils, labor issues, and low yielding seeds, among others. Okay, all right. So on the left hand side, we have a map, okay, of SA. Okay, and then we have A. Okay, so of course that is Free State, guys. And so we have A on Free State. Um, okay, and then on the right hand side B, that's a we have a graph there, and it shows production, it shows exports as well. Okay, so as you can see, we've been fluctuating, going up and down from 2015 to 2021. Um, so and the exports actually looks like they've been going up. Okay, looks like that. Okay, so all right. Okay, cool. Um, let's head on to the questions then. So 2.3.1. Um, okay, there we go. 2.3.1. Name the main maize producing province. Okay, which is A in South Africa. Okay, so of course that is Free State, Free State province. 2.3.2. So let's zoom in here. Refer to the graph. Compare the amount of maize produced to the amount that is exported. So of course, in all of these, you can clearly see that okay, um, there's more maize produced, okay, but there's little of it being exported. Okay, so in all of these, more maize. So you look at the key. The key is quite important in answering this question. So there's more maize produced, and there's less exports. Okay, so so yes, and so we are saying that there's um, okay, or let's say there's less maize. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Maize produced. There's less maize exported. Okay, exported than produced. So that is us comparing. Okay, that should be it. Set on to the next question. Why does South Africa have a large domestic market for maize? All right. Um, well, okay. There's a lot actually. So, what can we say? Okay, so first of all, maize, okay, is a staple food in South Africa. Okay, that's one point. Maize is staple food in South Africa. So by staple food, that means that people like buy it. It's what we usually consume. Maybe not on a regular basis, but like most of the time. Okay, so maybe not on a daily basis. I mean, so maize is staple food in SA. So a lot of people consume it. A lot of people consume it. Okay, consume it. Okay, and use it because you can also use maize for um, maybe like for farming your chickens. Okay. So that's the first one. Can say farming and tradition because it can also be used during what's going on here. Okay, so 2.3.4. Okay. Oh, it's actually should be 2 points, right? So second point is it is a raw material for many industries. Industries. Okay. So like we use uh, your for example beer. You use maize. There's a lot of products, guys. Like I could like count the whole day. A lot of products that are produced using maize. Okay, um, so that's it. Then 2.3.4. How will climatic factors reduce maize production? Okay. Um, so climatic conditions. So let's say, for example, drought. Okay, drought uh, produces um, insufficient or leads. So rather say a result to okay. Let's rather say dry conditions. Uh, which are not favorable um, for their effective production. Okay, then flood. erodes soils, which especially topsoil, um, has the necessary nutrients for effective maize production. 2.3.5. Explain the economic importance of maize production to the South African economy. Um, Guys, participates to GDP, employs people, foreign exchange, and foreign exchange. So, but they say explain, guys. But like, I'm just thinking of time, so let's. I'm just going to write the points, okay? Of course, we have to explain, okay? Participates to the GDP via taxes, okay? See, participates to the GDP by uh, paying tax, GDP, okay? And also employs people, or you can say it's an earner of foreign exchange, okay? But you'd have to explain, of course. By earner of foreign exchange, we mean that you actually have people buying this product from other countries using their own currency, okay? So that's um, that is very beneficial, okay? And of course, we use dollars to um, to buy and sell, okay? So right, so that is 2.3, guys. Yeah, we move on to the next one. Right, so this is 2.4. So let's say refer to the infographic on the Port Elizabeth Utenide core industrial region and the Cougar industrial development zone. Okay, okay. So we'll read, of course, the extract here, interpret what we see here, also look at what's happening here. What is it telling us? Because all of these guys, they can be quite, they are quite important, very important. So let's read the extract then. Port Elizabeth Utenide industrial region. While the while the automotive sector continues to dominate, the Cougar Industrial Development Zone holds the key to expanding and diversification of industries of the Port Elizabeth Utenide core industrial region. So it wants to have more industries, not only the automotive. That's what this means. The long-term presence of Volkswagen and Isuzu has been uplifted by a multi-phase 11 billion, wow, investment by Beijing Automotive Group. Okay, so this is a Chinese at the Industrial Development Zone. Okay, all right. And then we have a map of the Port Elizabeth Utenide core industrial region, and of course the Cougar ITZ as well. So there we go. Um, and the Cougar, of course, and also what's good is that they have the harbor. So that's a huge advantage, guys. The harbor is a huge advantage. That means you're going to be able to transport um, your goods International. Timeline of Cougar-related newspaper headlines. So from 2018 to 2023, 2018 solar cell factory to open in Cougar, ITZ. Okay, so this is the making of solar panels, I guess. So it's a factory that will make solar panels. 2019, Cougar focuses on projects worth 287 billion. Okay, so so that is what happens in 2019. And in 2020, aquaculture, Cougar's new fish farm zone progresses. Okay, there's a fish farm as well. In 2021, jobs for Bay as new companies invest 49 billion. Wow. So as you can see, that's a lot of employment happening there. Okay, so there's more companies entering and more. These are good strategies, guys. Wow. 2022, after 21 years, Eastern Cape's Cougar is starting to attract big investments. Then the headline for 2023, new 1,000 megawatts gas power plan for Cougar. Okay, so of course the COVID issue, the load shedding issue must of course affect these. So this is actually a good project. Okay, 2.4.1, name the type of transport infrastructure indicated on the map which favors the location of Port Elizabeth, Uitenhage core industrial region. Okay, type of transport infrastructure. There we go. Okay, it's the harbor. Okay, it's the harbor right there. There we go. So the harbor is a very, very good um, um, type of infrastructure. Okay, so I'm going to say harbor for 2.4.1, and then for 2.4.2 says the primary or secondary sector dominates the economy of the Port Elizabeth Uitenhage core industrial region. Is it the primary sector or is it the secondary sector? Okay, this industrial region, of course, has to be the secondary sector, guys. Okay, it's an industrial region. Of course, industry is secondary. Right, and then 2.4.3, name one major company in the extract that has invested in the Port Elizabeth Uitenhage core industrial region. Of course, guys, that has to be the Beijing automotive group. Okay, that's the Beijing uh, automotive group. So that's what we're gonna write down. Okay, just reading the extract, interpreting it well, and that's it. You get marks. Okay, so far how many marks? It's actually 1 mark, so it's actually 3 marks. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Those marks can help you a lot, and when it comes to the final mark. So I'm going to move on to the next page, and of course I'm going to come back here plenty of times. Quote two headlines from the timeline of Cougar-related newspaper headlines. Okay, so I'm supposed to quote two headlines there to show that diversification of industries is taking place. Okay, so I have to quote, so um, I have to have my quotation marks there. Where are the quotation marks? Where is it? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to quote, and let's basically go there. Okay, and it has to be exactly quoting. So which one? So It's diversifying. Okay? So because we know that it is dominated by the automotive sector, solar panels, okay, being produced. Okay. Second of all, you have fish farming. Okay, so those are the two um, events that we have to quote. So solar cell factory to open in Kruger ITZ. Okay, so I'll be right. Um, Solar cell factory. Okay, so okay, so sorry about that. Solar cell. Have to move this. So we're saying that solar cell factory to open um, in Kruger ITZ. I'm not sure if that's the exact words. I'll double check though. IDZ. Think that was. Let's just double check. Yes. And then the second one, aquaculture. Kruger's new fish farm progresses. Okay. Kruger's new fish farm progresses. So that's what we're going to write down as well. So we're going to write um, Kruger. So write aquaculture. Um, Kruger's new fish farm. New fish farm progresses. Okay. So there we go. Oh, that took the whole day. I gotta get better equipment, guys. It was quite difficult. Oh yeah, I don't know what I was doing. So yeah, okay. So 2.4.5. How would this diversification benefit the labor force um, in the Port Elizabeth Utenage core industrial region? Okay, how is it going to benefit them? Well, skills development. Okay, so um, what I mean here is that they can use these skills that they learn. They can use these and implement them where they stay. Okay, you can even open a business just implementing the skills that you were learning from work. So of course I would further right because they say because that is 2 marks, guys. You can't just write skills development. So I'm just explaining to you right now. Of course, and so of course this would increase their buying power. Okay, or purchasing power, and so they further, of course, support other industries buy whatever they need to buy from the seller. Explain why the Kruger ITZ would be an attractive location for investment by overseas companies. There's a lot of reasons, guys. First of all, it has a good infrastructure. Second of all, it is harbor. Third of all, it has labor force. Okay, so let me just write these down first. But there's quite um, plenty of these. Okay, so good infrastructure, which enables people to or businesses to operate smoothly or operate effectively, efficiently. Um, say can talk about labor availability, guys. Okay, availability. There's many people out there who are willing to work, of course, but the disadvantage is usually because you have people who are not skilled. And so we said good infrastructure, so roads, stuff, harbor, okay, harbor, which will allow or maybe reduce transport costs. This will reduce the transport costs, which will further reduce expenses. Okay, so it's actually a quite sweet, good location there. Yeah. So there's plenty more that you can write as well. Okay. So again, guys, explain. As I was talking, I was explaining. Okay. So, but these are just points. You will not get full marks from just writing these. Let's head on, guys. Let's move on. To 2.5. Okay, we move on to 2.5. Right. So 2.5.1. Okay, so actually should be the last question. Yeah, they usually end at 2.5 and then section B, which is the network. So refer to the extract and graph on the informal sector below. Informal sector percentage. So of course there's like different countries here, different percentages. So France has, for example, 11% informal sector. Greece, so 20-24%. Okay. South Africa is 20, Portugal 19, Spain 19, US 7. Alright. Okay. The vast majority of the informal sector operators earn well below the income tax, okay, which is personal tax paid to the government threshold of 79 thousand rands per annum set by the SARS. In addition, many informal sector workers, particularly those in retail, pay VAT, okay, which is the tax that is paid for goods purchased. However, unlike their counterparts in the formal sector, they are not able to claim these amounts back from the tax authorities. Okay, so um, you can actually, uh, claim back tax um, when maybe you've paid um, over or you've paid a lot more than what was required. Okay. Um, so permits allow people to trade legally. However, the legal requirement of encouraging informal traders to obtain permits has been met with reluctance. Okay, and so it has been met with a resistance. So people not actually wanting this to happen. The informal sector is worth supporting because it makes up a large part of the workforce. Further, while earnings are often low in the informal sector, this type of employment is particularly important in keeping households above the poverty line. So it helps, guys. Okay, with being criticizing the informal sector for too long now. So it's time that we actually appreciate what they're actually doing, okay, which is what we are trying to do, reduce poverty. Okay, so I'll go to the next, yes, the next page. So that's 2.5.1. So 2.5.1 says, according to the graph, what percentage of South Africa's population is classified as the informal sector? This one is so what did you say, 70 something percent? This one is quite, yeah. So the percentage, of course, oh, it's actually 20%, yeah, 20%. Okay, so it's 20%. So that's what I will write down as well. So 20%. Okay, down percentage sign there. 2.5.2. So give economic reasons that have led to such a large informal sector in South Africa. Well, there's large employment, first of all, large unemployment, I mean. Unemployment. Okay, so for 2.5.2, we are required to give economic reasons that have led right. So 2.5.2, we are required to give economic reasons that have led to such a large informal sector in South Africa. Okay, so what reasons are economic reasons that have led to a large informal sector? Well, the first one would, of course, be large or huge unemployment. Okay, there's massive unemployment, guys. So people do not have any choice but to be part of the informal sector. Okay, and second of all, you do not pay taxes. Okay, so in the informal sector, you do not pay taxes. Um, no taxes are paid, and hence a larger revenue. Okay, so that's what is good. Okay, bigger any. That's the reason. There's many more though. Then for 2.5.3, we have to explain the economic importance of the informal sector. Okay. First of all, so it employs people. Okay, so people are employed, and employs people, and hence reduces poverty. Okay, and then second of all, it supports other because it buys. They usually buy from other industries. Okay. Industries, usually formal industries. Okay. So I'll just open brackets, formal. Okay, so formal businesses actually benefit from this. Okay, right. Let me know what you guys wrote. Um, should be other, should be H there. Okay, right. Next question, 2.5 point 4. In a paragraph of approximately 8 lines, suggest strategies that could be implemented to improve the informal sector. Oh, there's many. There's many guys. So again, um, I'll just write the points, okay, and then explain. So, okay, what can we do to improve the informal sector? So, first of all, we know that the informal sector, it's difficult to get loans. Okay, so it's difficult to get loans, and so they cannot further expand to support their businesses. Okay, so can say maybe register or formalize. Um, okay, or let's rather say educate. Eight informal traders, traders to and to okay about okay educate informal traders about required documentation and strategies to increase the chances. I'm actually writing it now. The chances of getting approved by a loan, okay, of loan approval, okay, and then um, provide shelter, provide safer, because usually informal traders, especially like the informal the hawkers, find them outside even when it's raining. So that's really quite sad seeing old people standing out in the rain. Okay, so provide safer. They have to be safe. Okay. I don't know if should call them shelters or what. Let's just say shelters for now, or safe shelters. It's not like they do have shelters. Okay, so this will help them with rain, of course, and of course with crime. Okay. Another one is to educate them about business. Okay. Business expansion and strategies. Okay. Maybe I could have said, okay, that's fine. Strategies. Okay. Projections. There's a lot to learn in business, guys. Okay. ETC. Okay. ETC. Okay. So they can maximize. Okay, so they can maximize, of course, their profits. Okay, because that's what you want to do, guys. You want to ensure that, well, each and every goal of, yeah, each and every business has that goal to maximize profits. Um, and we can also um, oh yeah, allocate. Sorry about that. Allocate more areas, because a lot of areas you have restricted, like it's restricted for hawkers. So allocate more areas for informal traders. There's a lot more of these people are facing, guys, that we have to do. Okay, so let's counteract all of that. Uh, Traders. Okay, so there's a lot more. There's a lot more that they can do. So, guys, this is section A. This is like the whole video, right? And the next video I shall post, upload um, this week as well. I hope so. Oh, actually, this week that we have was, yeah, it's Sunday today. So maybe tomorrow or on Tuesday, and then I'll start a series then on content now. But I need to upgrade my equipment. Yo, it's really bad. Okay, so I just hope you're safe out there. I hope you're having a great time. But please be safe, guys. Okay. And I hope you bagged a lot of marks here. Okay, so bye, guys. I'll see you the next time.